Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
Hello friends, makers, welcome to episode 6 of Layfamilyyarn Diaries. This is a podcast about knitting, crochet, sometimes weaving, sometimes sewing, and just a hand of friendship. The aim of this podcast, as with all my vlogs, is to invite you to sit around my kitchen table, have a knit and a natter, just make some connections and extend that hand of friendship. And if that's something you feel you can get value from or take friendship from, that's great. You're so welcome. If not, thanks for checking us out. I've got Jeff with me as always. So many people I think have come and joined this channel since Vlogmas, so a huge welcome to you. You're so welcome. If you are new, just a quick introduction. I'm not going to do this every week because I assume if you're sat around my table with Jeff and I, then you know me and we're friends and we don't need to formally introduce ourselves every time we sit down, do we? But my name is Kelly. I am the face and the dyer behind Layfamilyyarn, our hand dyeing yarn company which I run with my husband Nick here in Ironbridge in the UK. Are you well? It's New Year's Eve, 31st of December 2020. A year I'm sure most of us will be glad to see the back of. I've put on my sparkly red top and my sparkly cardie because let's be honest, it's not going to get used any other time this year, is it? Or anytime soon, I think. I think the only party I'm going to be having this year is a cast-on party, which is absolutely my type of party. In fact, this project bag in front of me here from Gilly Makes says, I like to party, and by party I mean stay home in my PJs and knit. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it? My sweet boy. He needs a haircut. He's getting a bit shaggy. Can't see your beautiful eyes, can we? Needs a haircut. But it has been snowing here the last few days, so yeah, he's needed this warmer coat too. Jeff would literally just sit here all day. as would I. So shall we talk about some craft and some creativity? I've got a couple of finished things to show you. I've got some new projects to talk about, a project that I'm currently knitting on, one I'm crocheting on, and yeah, some future plans. Going forward into 2021, I would really like to focus on the podcast and these diary episodes and make them a regular feature. Ideally, I'd love to say I'd do it weekly, but the reality is that I'm not time rich, and I'm not sure I'd have so much to share in terms of making content. So what I kind of thought was about doing one sort of sit down chat like this, a chatty vlog, and then more of like a weekly like vlogmas type episode, you know, of our walks and cooking and bit of work stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think, if that's something you're interested in. I would love to do that. But if you prefer just to have a chatty vlog about knitting and crafting and things, that's fine too. I have set up a Ravelry group. I mean, I set it up months ago, probably years. You can find it as Layfamilyyarn in the groups tab on Ravelry. But to be honest, Ravelry to me is just somewhere historically that I've used as a pattern library. I don't know all the features of it. I don't even know how to like or heart somebody's comment, which is not good considering I'm co-hosting a knit along. But I'm learning, I'm getting there. Yeah, the Rainbow Chronicles, that starts tomorrow, doesn't it? New Year's Day, 1st of January. Are you joining in? Are you excited? Do you know about it? The Rainbow Sock Chronicles came about, I'm hosting with my good friend Jules of So Sweet Violet. And it came about earlier this year, when Jules and I were chatting about mini skeins and our love of beautiful bits and my excessive amount of each of these things. So I said to Jules, right, next year I'm going to knit this rainbow of socks. I'm going to have like this Catherine wheel. Should we go down? You're going to go down, baby. Come on then. Let mummy talk. There we go, good boy. Yeah, I'm going to have this Catherine wheel of socks at the end of the year, at the end of 2021. And I can do that, you know, that fab Instagram picture of that circle of socks. And from there, like, we were feeding off one another and we were so excited. And it grew from there, really. So we decided that we would do a knit along. And then it became a yarn club for us. I know Jules has got some things up her sleeve that she's going to be making and producing and creating to go alongside, and they're amazing. I've seen sneak peeks. So yeah, so if you want to join in the knit along, you'd be so very, very welcome. And the chatter thread in Jules's thread is unbelievable. I think there's over 700 posts now. Crazy. Thankfully, and the most amazing lady, Christy, has reached out and offered to moderate for Jules and I, and what an angel, what an absolute angel. She's answering questions and messages, and yeah, it took a lot of pressure and not stress, but you know, away from Jules and I, and we are so, so grateful for that. But yeah, the chatter thread, it's amazing, and people are all sharing their ideas. And so the premise of the Rainbow Sock Chronicles knit along is that Jules and I have comprised a list of colours that will be revealed. Well, it's not a secret, but they'll be revealed each month, and then your goal is to knit a pair of socks that month within that colour palette. So for January, starting tomorrow, the colour is pink. Now that can be baby pink, barely there pink, neon pink. It doesn't have to be a solid pink. It can obviously have blue, green, you know, you name it. But you have to be able to look at the sock and see that it's a pink sock. And then in February would be red or darker pink into red within that palette. March we are looking at peaches and apricots, and then so on, and we'll go through the year like that. We're going to draw monthly prizes. The finished object thread is in my Ravelry group, I say Layfamilyyarn. I have set up the thread already. The only sort of stipulation is that it has to be an adult full-size sock, so no shorties, but you know, just a standard normal full-size sock. And yeah, post your threads, your finished object pictures, and we'll be drawing monthly prizes. We've had some amazing donations and people reach out to us with patterns and project bags. So anything really, if you want to get involved and share your makes, if you're a maker or a creator, feel free, and Jules and I will share those on our social media as well. So it's really exciting, and that starts tomorrow. I know there's a lot of people super excited about it. Yeah, it blows my mind when I was looking at the threads yesterday that from, you know, me organising my beautiful bits, which I showed you on one of the Vlogmas days, you know, in that little organiser, from organising that has become such a big part of my year now for 2021. The yarn club, the Rainbow Yarn Chronicles, has just been phenomenal. The support and the enthusiasm for it has blown Nick and I away. It's been amazing. We are dyeing up like 20-gram mini skein bundles, 10-gram palette packs, and then sock sets as well. And again, that was just to kind of capture all really, because I say scrappy socks. They're not really scrappy socks because I'm using or purchasing or dyeing mini skein packs for it, but you know what I mean. But I know some people like a sock set, well, as I do. So yeah, and from that then people have jumped on it in terms of blankets as well. And I started a crochet blanket, which I've never done before. I'm new to crochet. My friend Deb cast it on for me, or chained it. I don't know the terminology, you know, did the foundation chain. But that wasn't initially for the Rainbow Chronicles. So I got Meg to do me another one, and I'll show you in a sec, and you can see how the colours are interplaying. And there's a lot of people doing blankets. So I think I'll set up in the group thread as well a chatter thread about your rainbow blankets, if that's of interest to people. I'm so excited. Excuse me. It's only about 8:30 in the morning, but Megan's been furloughed again as of today. We've just gone into tier 3 here in Shropshire. So Megan's furloughed, and this feels far from normal yet to do this in front of people. So I thought I'd do it before everybody gets up. I'm back at work now. I wasn't going back until Monday, but yeah, it just kind of felt right. So I went back yesterday. And yeah, it was good. It was good to be back. Get started again. I was struggling to relax a little bit because I knew I had things left over from pre-Christmas break and things that I'd wanted to get on top of. I intended to get the test skeins for the next Rainbow Chronicles dyed before we broke up for Christmas, but I didn't manage it, and that kind of felt like it was just hanging over me a little bit. So yeah, I was glad to get that done yesterday. Anyway, shall we talk some knitting? What should we do first? Well, so since we're talking about the Rainbow Chronicles, shall I show you what I've been making? Now, because I am the hostess with the mostess and the dyer, I've been knitting on the sample packs that we've dyed up already. So we put them on sale for a couple of months in advance for two reasons. A, because the sheer volume that we are producing for people is amazing, but obviously it takes time, so we need to have that availability to be able to do that. So this was these socks are by Andrea Mowry, and they're called the Fluoride socks, and they're a fade, and that was from a 20-gram mini skein pack. Two. I've never knit faded socks before. Well, I've never knit any of Andrea Mowry's faded projects. I haven't knit the jumpers or the Find Your Fade shawl. But honestly, this was so well written. It talks you perfectly through where to fade and how to fade the colours and interplay the colours. There's 5 colours in there, and it talks you through that perfectly. So that is my contribution to January's pink palette. So they've been finished. I've just finished February's colour. So this is my darker pinks going into red. And this pattern is the Colour Palette by Laurel Knits. It's really effective, isn't it? And it used so little yarn. Because you're putting in contrast heels, toes, cuffs with an undyed, or in my case an undyed, and then there's each here has 3 rows of the undyed. It's surprising how little of the 5 colours you use. You could easily get 2 pairs of socks from one 20-gram bundle, which is amazing, isn't it? Because let's be honest, hand-dyed yarn isn't inexpensive, is it? It's a luxury item. So if we can stretch it that bit further, all the better. I did like these. I love the finished socks. I found, if you were watching any of the Vlogmas videos, I found the second sock a bit of a slog. Purely because I'd get in a rhythm of just going round and round and round, and then I'd have to stop and do some twisted rib, and then I'd get back in a rhythm going round and round. I have to stop and do twisted rib, and I found that a bit of a slog, a bit of a chore. But the finished sock I really like. If I knit them again, and I think I would colour block more. So maybe where I've done 3 stripes there, that would be 1 colour, and then I could do my change 1 colour, and I think that would work better for me. So I get a good sort of 25 rows of round before I have to do the twisted rib, as opposed to just doing 7 or 8. I think that would work better for me. But that's not a reflection on a pattern, it's just a personal choice. In fact, I think the pattern does require bigger chunks, but I broke them down just to show the yarn more effectively. So that was that. I'll show you my crochet blanket next. Again, I'm sure if you've been following Vlogmas, you will have seen this. So this is a granny stripe blanket using Attic 24 technique. And as I say, Megan cast this on for me because I don't know how to do a foundation chain. This is my first crochet project, so forgive my lack of knowledge when it comes to terminology and things. But it was a chain of 302. I mean, it's massive, look. It's beyond my wingspan. And I started here again with the pinks, and there's 10-gram minis in one of our Rainbow Chronicles palette packs. So that was the 10 colours there. and then I put the 5 in from my socks, and then again with the red I've put the 10-gram palette pack, and then my socks, the 5 colours from within my socks. I haven't done the cream, but you know. And I've really loved this project, really loved it. I contemplated, I've only done 1 row per colour. Jules has been doing the same, but she's done 2 rows per colour, and it looks amazing. I mean, I love this with just the 1 row, but you can get 2 per colour. What size hook? 3.5. Yeah, you can get 2 per colour, but yeah, I contemplated, because I was enjoying it so much, and I didn't want to wait for the next colours. I contemplated adding some more in, but I think it would spoil my overall effect. So next month I've finished with this orange toned red here, so that it kind of flows nicely now into the peach and apricot palette, which I'm dyeing now. Yeah, I've loved that. But from there I ended up with all these little beautiful bits left over. Yeah, they're just the tiniest little bits. If again, you have to forgive me if you've seen this on Vlogmas, but I just wanted to wrap up the year and lay out some plans going forward. So from there I took all these little bits. I mean, there was a lot more than this, and I had some part balls of floof left over from hat projects, you know, the Surrey alpaca silk. I mean, look at that tiny little piece, but you know, I've used them. And I made a cowl. This is the Scraptastic cowl by Amber O'Brien. Yes, Amber O'Brien. Oh, and it was lovely. It was such a lovely project to work on. It didn't take very long at all. I knit on it a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the evening, and it didn't take me long, under a week. So lovely. Some places, like here, this peachy one, I did use like a peachy scrap of floof. Some of them, the darker colours, I used a scrap of undyed natural floof, and the rest I used this sort of barely there pink. So again, you can really play on colours by changing the colour of the floof, the base colour of the floof. I love it, absolutely love it. I think the pattern is for DK, but if you've watched any of my videos or see me on Instagram, any excuse to add in fluff, I do it. Oh, it's just lovely, so lovely. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna, oh, so nice. It smells lovely. I washed it in Eucalan Rapture. It smells delicious. I'm going to put this away, I think, and start my little gift box for Christmas. Or not necessarily Christmas, just to send people little things through the post sometimes. I had, little tangent, a lovely lady called Karen just sent me the most amazing and thoughtful gift in the post of some fingerless mittens. Just a little card, you know, saying, I hope you like these. I thank you for Vlogmas. And so unexpected, unnecessary, but so incredibly kind. And I think that's my goal for next year, is to just send out some little smiles in the post, you know, just to say I've been thinking of you, or I appreciate you, or I hope you like this, I hope it makes you smile. not for any reason particularly, just because. Another lady, Fiona, sent me a little Christmas card that she'd drawn in calligraphy and a little lavender star with hand embroidered face, and it's just amazing. And actually it arrived when I was having a really crappy day, so it truly meant the world. So yeah, I want to have some little things to send out to people next year. But I'm still left with all these. So I think what I'm going to do is make some fingerless mittens. I was going to sort of just make some up using, you know, if you take one section of this, that's sort of like a perfect mitten, isn't it? There isn't a pattern for a mitten for this, but it would be easy to just, you know, take that section, add in a thumb. I would go where those, I wouldn't put in the second eyelet, I'd stop there on the knit stitches and have that as the mitten and then put a thumb in. I think that'd be really cute. But the Hearten mitts that were in Helen Stewart's 2020 knit vent, they're not entirely dissimilar, so that might work as well. But I'll have a play with that. I'll hopefully cast those on today, which will be exciting. Yeah, I think we need to find a way of continuing to use all these little bits. I have got another blanket though, and I've got my Cozy Memories blanket. I should have got that, shouldn't I? Where's this? Oh, here we go. This was my, oh dear, I should have sorted this. What's that attached to? Oh, nothing. This was the original blanket that my friend Deb cast on for me. As I say, oh, have I unravelled that? Oh no, we're okay, I think. Yeah, this was the original one. And then I wanted to do a rainbow one, so yeah, started that one. But yeah, I'm going to use this. I'm going to go back in now and make this one just completely scrappy. You know, I can just do 3 rows, 2 rows, 4 rows, whatever. So I will put some of these pinks in here, but I don't purposely want to make it another rainbow. So yeah, I'm going to do some mittens and then add some into that cowl. It's exciting. The other thing I've been working on is another cowl. This is for my mum. It's supposed to be for Christmas, but I didn't get it finished, which she doesn't know. I will get it to her in the post. I'm nearly finished. I've only got about 10 rows, I think, left. But yeah, I just wanted to get those socks done. Well, and then I got sidetracked with that cowl, which I adored doing. This is a pattern by Joji Locatelli, and it's from the latest Interpretation 7 book that she, I think it's every year her and Vera Valimaki bring this out, isn't it? I think so. And it's called the Blurry Cowl, B-L-U-R-R-Y, Blurry. And that's it there. It's a lovely, lovely project. It honestly could, I mean, it took me about 8 weeks, but it really, really doesn't need to take that long. It's potentially a really quick knit. It's just got this textured knits and pearls on the top. Let's see. And then you go into some stripes. And then this bottom section now again is just, it's got some twisted stitches and some more knits and pearls. And this, oh, and some eyelet lace for the border. So I've only got about 10 more rows to finish. But I think if you had a good, you know, lazy bank holiday weekend, you really could knit this in a weekend. I think that the top section I did in a couple of evenings, 2 or 3 evenings, and then the stripes, and then I just got sidetracked. But yeah, it's a lovely wearable piece. I found whenever I do, you knit the cream part flat and then you join in the round when you do your stripes. And whenever I do a pattern back and forth, when you slip the first stitch on the edge there, it makes it really quite tight for me. There's not a huge amount of give there. So I put this on to, I think that's why I stalled really, because I wasn't convinced it was going to fit. Because you see, you can't block it out a huge amount because of those slip stitches, just making it a bit tight. So I popped it on waste yarn, because I've only got it on a tiny 16-inch cord. So I popped it on waste yarn so I could try it on, and actually it was fine, it fit fine. It was quite snug on the neck, but actually I think if you're out walking, I mean, it's been like -4 here, which I know comparatively speaking isn't super cold, but for us that's cold. And when you're out walking, or you know, just pottering around in the garden, you don't want the wind blowing down your jacket, do you, or down your cowl. So having it that bit tighter, it's not tight, it's not going to throttle my mum, but just having it that bit snugger on the neck, I think actually is probably quite good. So yeah, I must get that finished. I will get it finished. Not saying when, but I will. What else is in this bag? I don't even know what's in this bag. Oh, that was the other colour. So I used Warm and Toasty and Damson. They're DK. I think it's on a 4mm needle, but I just, as the pattern told me, I didn't. Look, I've got some more bits of fluff here. These were sort of the leftover bits that I was using. These are from when I've made magpie hats. So once we get to, and there's quite a few blues in this little bag. I need to go through this bag and empty it out. This is, I made Megan a magpie hat for Christmas. Well, I made a few people them actually, but you see these little balls. I must put them away. But they're perfect to use in these sort of scraptastic cowls, aren't they? Just held with a nice mohair. This is a mohair. Held together. Use up all your little leftovers. It's a really economical way of getting a really effective project. I mean, you could just keep going with this and make it so you could wrap it round twice, couldn't you? Let's pop all them back in there. That's in my bag from Ginny Makes. Oh, it's not bag, bucket. That's all I've got knitting wise really. I have got my Cozy Memories blanket on the go, but I haven't worked on that in a little while. I want to though. Sharon from SCR1TNO Knitting Podcast and Instagram, she does a year-long knit-along, like a square a day or a stripe a day, a hexagon a day, you know, just something a day. And she has like quarterly check-ins and prizes, I think. But it's really surprising if you did one square a day, how big your Cozy Memories gets. I mean, that's 365 squares at the end of the year, isn't it? Which is a good size blanket. I think the same with the crochet. I mean, I've got 30 rows here. So if you did 365 rows, just one row a day. I mean, I'm really slow at crochet, so it takes me about, well, when I first started, it was taking me an hour and 10 minutes to do a row. I think it takes me about 45-50 minutes now. But even that, for me, I mean, I know when I was chatting to Deb, it takes her about 20 minutes. But even for me, like 45 minutes, I can do that while I'm cooking dinner, you know. Just have it on the kitchen table here and I can easily stop, go and stir and come back, do a few more. So it's really achievable, isn't it, that you can get a good sized blanket at the end of the year. So yeah, if you fancy joining in that, I know Sharon is hosting it again this year. I think she's done it, I think this will be the 3rd year running. So come the end of the year, we can have our New Year's Eve special 2021 snugged up. I won't be in my sparkly top partying on my own. We can be snugged up in a blanket round the table in the studio, hopefully with people there. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Instead of sitting at my kitchen table on my own, perhaps we could be round my studio table, snugged up in our blankets with a big basket of energy balls. If you know, you know. The tea urn going. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Oh, I'd love that. Fingers crossed, eh? We can make some of these plans and dreams and connections in real life happen again next year. So my New Year's cast on, not that I never do a New Year's Eve cast on. I will be doing, because I've got the new Rainbow Chronicles part dyed, so I shall be casting that on, no doubt. I'm going to do the little bobbins pattern, patches and pockets, I think it's called. Socks again, obviously, and it's got little textures on some of the stripes. I think it was inspired by her son's teddy bears and how he's got little patches, and I'm sure that's the inspiration. But yeah, I thought that would work really well. And we're going into peaches this month. Do you want a sneak peek? One of the colours in it will be changing. It didn't work. Oh, look. Peaches. Yeah, this one won't be in it, so I've got to dye the 5th colour. That's how we're looking so far. So I'm not going to knit them in order of depth of colour this time. There'll be a darker one, so I'm going to mix the colours up a bit this time and play around that way with the interplay of colour. So yeah, I just brought those home last night to show Nick. I'm not sure which one of those will go in it. Depends how dark the next one comes out, I guess. But I'll show you them properly next time. Just shove them in this little box with my January socks. This will be my box of socks for my rainbow. So I shall have them there. And I've got my January ones. This is not just any old box though, let me tell you. I love these magnetic clasps. Look! The Rainbow Sock Chronicles. How amazing is that? Yeah, Jules and I have had some Rainbow Sock Chronicles boxes made, so that for anybody who wishes to joining in the sock along, they can join in and put their socks in their own box of socks. It's all gold embossed and sparkly. I love it. And Jules and I will each be having those in our shop. That's it. I've not got anything else to work on or to chat about this time. Yeah, let me know what you think about going forward next year. I would love to say, I don't think weekly chatty vlogs like this, chatty sit down conversations all work, because I just don't have that much making. But if we intersperse that with you know, a vlog with, much like Vlogmas, with the cooking and baking and gardening and walks, and that might work quite nice. So yeah, let me know. But it will definitely be a more regular feature next year for sure, because I so appreciated and loved the interaction of Vlogmas. It genuinely was so uplifting and inspiring for me, and yeah, I've made some real connections and friendships from it, which, as I keep saying, is what this is all about. So I'll leave you with a little video of a nice walk that Megan, Jeff and I took, and I'll see you very soon, if not next week, the week after. But for now, I say cheers. I wish you the happiest, healthiest new year. I hope, we have so many hopes and dreams for next year, don't we? But let's stay safe. We're nearly there. The vaccines are being rolled out, aren't they? The end is in sight. It will be challenging, undoubtedly, between now and spring. But we're getting there, aren't we? We're in sight. So stay well, stay safe, my friends. Lots of love and the happiest of happiest New Years to you all. Cheers.